Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to session 63A. I'm Don, playing as Soren today. We have Quinn as Anemo and Lily as Windchime, with our amazing DM Emily. We left off last session dealing with the aftermath of the battle against Thom. Soren, Windchime, and Anemo stole the boat that was in the harbor from the remaining militia under Thom. They changed the information on the boat and handed over Thom and his two men to the Zehir. Bailey took the gang to the lighthouse, where Soren's appearance and demeanor changed as he connected with the lighthouse, being dubbed as the lighthouse's true keeper. We left off last time with Bailey promising to help Soren connect with Melora. Emily, it's all you.
Okay. So, yeah, that happened.
Deep breaths.
Yeah. You all separated. The majority of you making your way back to Firewatch Island. Soren, you planted the rose into the ground. Let the others through. Each of you going about your nightly activities. Soren, however, you find yourself restless. Not quite able to settle down for the night. There's a lot on your mind. What is, after everything that's happened, right? Promises from Bailey to help you collect Melora, the taking down of Thom, the everything. What is going through your head?
A lot of questions. It's kind of starting to give him a little bit of a headache as they're all kind of pounding at the front of his head.
You, unable to sleep, decide to find some peace and quiet. Where do you go to take a break from the bustling of the city?
Soren is going to probably take a late night walk out into the forest, just trying to get some peace and quiet among the leaves and the trees, under the stars, of course.
Conveniently, we actually have a thing for that, don't we?
Do we?
Forest map.
Kind of.
Ooh. Is this where your coven is?
You find yourself out in the forest at night, walking amongst the trees and nature. Alone. Quiet. What are you doing out here?
He's taking Zagreus's advice, like a little bit of it, but kind of doing his own thing also. He's kind of walking through the forest, kind of not so much watching, but listening for anything. He's got all these questions pounding in his head. He's trying to just find silence, just listening for anything, looking around for something that's out there, anything that's out there.
You find yourself alone. There's a tranquil spot on the in the forest. So there's a small clearing that you can look up and see the sky, the stars flickering in and out. You hear the wind whispering through the leaves. There's an owl that hoots And in this of solitude, you in this moment of solitude, an overwhelming presence of something like the moon's light of nature seemed to pull you in to an understanding of sorts. The moon's light high in the sky appears brighter now. It bathes the landscape in a soft silver. A cool wind stirs, carrying that scent of earth and water and wildflowers that catches in your mind. You see, as you lean your head back up against the tree, like images flash before your eyes in the calm. You see a figure walking between the shadows of the trees, always out of focus, like a silhouette of a presence that is both real and unknowable. You don't feel scared. No. But that presence of being alone gets washed away. And you feel very tired, pulling you to the ground. Out of your control, practically. The desire so strong, you find yourself laying on the soft forest floor. It's not hard or sharp digging into you, just comfortable. And as your eyes blink, spending more and more time closed, memories make their way in the forefront of your mind. You don't normally have memories, though, so it comes as a bit of a surprise. You've always belonged to the wild places. As a boy, you would be found wandering the Dunrock Mountains, knowing their every ridge and hollow like the lines on your own hands. Your parents, their faces flash in your vision. They ran a modest apothecary. And often, it fell onto you to gather many of the herbs that they needed. You brought home often more than just roots and flowers, but injured birds, orphaned fox kits, even wilting plants seemed to find new life under your care. The mountains were your home, but they were not always kind. Hunters set cruel traps, their steel jobs snapping at the legs of the creatures that you've called your kin. You disabled them whenever you found them, ignoring the scorn of the hunters who already called you a thief. Your family struggled for it. Coin was scarce, and losing business to angry trappers often made things worse. But you never stopped. Life, no matter how small, deserved to be saved. And so, as you grew, so did your reputation. Travelers from the west sometimes sought a guide through the Dunrocks, and you knew the safest paths, the hidden trails that only the mountains themselves had whispered of. when one day a pair of scholars, a couple named the Snowgales, arrived at your family's shop. You were eager to lead them to the mountains. They weren't like the usual outsiders. They didn't stare at your dark skin and didn't speak down to you as though you were some wild thing. They asked questions. They listened. It felt good to be a part of something. As far as you remember, their interests lay in the thinning of the veil between worlds, something you knew very little of. But you know where the land felt different, where the wind carried voices not its own, where the shadows stretched just a little too far at dusk. And so, you took them to a valley where the air shimmered like a heat mirage, where wildflowers grew in impossible clusters. Where wildflowers grew in impossible clusters. Vivid blues and purples that no painter would ever be able to capture. And there, amongst the flowers, stood a man. He was not of this world. You knew that the moment you saw him. His form was lean, draped in robes that shimmered like oil on water. Let me just pull a picture up of him. Oops. Oh, why is this not working? A gem, dark and depthless, gleamed in place of his eye, and he knelt there, holding a flower between his fingers. And as he touched it, it withered at his touch. You and the Snowgales walked closer to him. You, of course, staying slightly farther back than them, but the Snowgales, the very kind Snowgales, went up and approached him, seeing if he was in need of help. You heard him say, "They always die when I touch them." He turns the stem between his fingers. And then, with a slow, deliberate motion, he raised his free hand, and gold spread over the dead petals, sealing them in eternal preservation. I will keep this one. The Snowgales stiffened. Something was wrong. Did you know, the man continued, that flowers are unique to this iteration? Beautiful things. Fragile, fleeting. It's an odd habit, plucking them simply to brighten a room. They were an accident, you know. Born of her sorrow. Her tears fell, and the earth answered. And I could have stopped it. He turned back, not looking at you, but through you. His eyes pulsed with something ancient and bitter. I could have kept my promise. I could have let her go. He sighed, but I loved her. He was speaking of a goddess. That much was clear to you. She was not meant for me. She was meant for my brother. But I thought, if she saw my devotion, if she truly saw me... No. Arathis is a jealous god. He always has been. It was at this moment you felt tension coiling in your gut. Though you didn't yet understand the meaning of those words, you could only watch as the man, the broker, though you did not yet know that name, as he gripped the gilded flower and drove it violently into the earth. Anger, malice, frustration. The ground cracked and the air groaned. And it tore open. The broker did not turn to you. He barely noticed your presence. But he smiled. If there were no boundaries at all, he said, imagine what could be done. And then the earth folded in on itself and cracking and fractaling in a way that you are now familiar with, pulling light and sky into its yawning maw. And you stumbled back, but the snow gales were too close yet already moving. They knew. They understood. They acted. Edward's mother pushed you back out of the pull of the portal as you saw Edward's father try to weave a spell to anchor them in place, but it wasn't enough. The void yawned wider, and in an instant, they were gone, consumed by that place that had torn itself into being. You hit the ground hard. You felt your body, the mountain beneath you. But something was missing. The portal had closed, but not cleanly. You had been too close, half pulled through. Your body remained, but something vital, something fundamental had been severed. Your soul was gone. The broker turned, tilting his head as though examining his handiwork. Nodded once, seemingly pleased. I think I can work with this. And he left. You did not move. The sky stretched endlessly above you, the days and nights slipping past in silent succession. Flowers bloomed, seasons changed, and your body did not wither, nor did it hunger. You simply watched. Then, one day, something small and cold crawled onto your chest. A creature barely the size of your palm, with a sticky, slimy, but cold mucus, for lack of a better word, crawling onto your chest, and it nudged. It's not. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to.
No,
describe
it's okay.
It nudged your chin with its nose, and then, at last, you moved. At that time, you did not remember your name. You did not remember who you had been. But you had needed to find those answers. So, you rose. Freya, as you grew to call her, curling around your shoulders, and stepped forward. And as you lay on the ground, looking up at the stars, reminded of the countless nights, could have been years, that you were staring up at that sky. You stand up, taking your own step forward. Flicker of movement from beyond the tree line. Something there, but something not. After a moment, you are alone. Soren, your memories have been fully restored. Tell me, and this might be a bit of a surprise question, what was your name before you grew to know Soren?
His name? Ooh. His original name was Callum Festus.
Callum. Familiar and unfamiliar. Years have passed since you last heard that. Since you knew. Now you do. What does Callum do?
He's going to sit up and kind of lean against a tree as the memories come rushing back to him, as every gap gets filled and everything he ever known is upturned. All of his memories return to him in a rush. He is going to feel very overwhelmed. He is going to start kind of unconsciously crying, not like, hiccuping,
Not
and
sobbing,
yeah,
but
there's just going to
tears.
be tears kind of rolling down his cheeks as he kind of leans up against the tree and just kind of sits there trying to put everything together and figuring everything out, pretty much just thinking.
Before long, the dawn rises. And as a previously established, you have a commitment to people in the middle of the ocean, hoping to get back. So you make your way, holding the rose in your hand. And retrieving your friends. The pre-established time. Windchime and...
Festus.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. I was just responding to the correct spelling of his name.
Mm. At the pre-established time, you all Windchime and you, Anemo, make your way back through the portal to Nicodranus.
Mm-hmm.
Soren, what do you look like? Like, what's your demeanor when you retrieve your friends?
He looks very... What's the word? Very distraught. Like something huge is bothering him. But he doesn't say anything. He kind of... He's much more quiet than what he usually is. And he seems like not entirely there. Like he's staring off into the distance frequently and lost in thought.
Windchime,
what?
you see your friend. Something clearly on his mind, and if you don't mind, Windchime, I think something in your heart pulses, drawing you towards Soren.
Like physically?
Emotionally. But you do feel your heart, like your star, drawing you.
Mm-hmm. Soren, you look different.
I'm pretty sure I look the same, at least what I was in the lighthouse.
No, I think perhaps it's the wind blowing through your hair. Or you just seem like you know something. Like you know yourself.
I guess you could say that. I remember. I remember it all. Everything came rushing back.
You remember?
He nods.
What did you forget?
Everything.
Oh, that's a lot to forget. I usually only forget the timer. What exactly do you remember, though?
I remember everything. My name, where I came from, what
Your
I'm
name's
doing.
Soren.
My name is not Soren.
Yes, it is.
No. That was...
What?
It's Soren. I know.
No, that was an alias. A name I came up with when I got my amnesia. But with that cleared and figured out, I remember everything. Everything at all. Soren is not my name. Callum is.
You.
So please, from now on, call me Callum. I'll still answer to Soren, if that's what you so choose, but that is not my real name anymore. It never was.
What? She's looking at Soren with gobsmacked eyes. Callum. No, that's
Callum. Callum.
here.
Callum. Callum.
Callum.
Callum.
They just keep repeating it.
Yes, that is how you say it.
Oh,
You know, I'll get used to it eventually.
I'm gonna get it. Oh no, this is bad.
I've said it so many times. I'm getting to, like it doesn't have much meaning to me anymore. Callum, Callum, Callum,
His
Callum.
his smile kind of fades, and I know he's not here, but I know what happened to Edward's parents. I was there after all.
You were there. What happened?
It's a long story. One I could share with you over a campfire if you would like. There's a lot I think I should tell you all. A lot
I
I've been trying to keep hidden, and even more that I just learned. Or I remembered, I guess is what I'd say.
You're opening up. It's finally happening. I knew this day would come. She wraps him in her arms in a big hug.
Do you finally have the closure you were looking for?
No. There's still something I must do. Well, 2 things I must do. Maybe 3. Let's just say there's a lot. And until those things are done, closure is far from what I'm feeling. And he kind of reaches up and grabs kind of where his he kind of grabs his shirt where his where you'd imagine his heart being, the kind of left side. It's definitely not closure I'm feeling. But we had something we had to do, didn't we?
And you do. Your conversation with Azalejo, and the cult of Zehir, you made a promise to them last minute that you would lead them back to the cult's the heretical cult's hideout. Halfway between Nicodranus and Phelan. I'm just gonna time forward a bit here. Let me pick something. I think it's this one. As the Zalejo move through the hideout, clearing the remaining cultists and cataloging their heresies, you, of course, are left to explore a room that you had been in once before, but now without the wariness of a hard-fought battle, and knowing that you will not be attacked once again. There is a space untouched by the rush of arresting officers. Dom's room. Dimly lit by lanterns of of green tinted flame, giving the room a good search. Looking at the desk where you saw the quill that spoke to another. There are symbols of Zehir here. Coiled serpents, dripping fangs. These are carved into the wooden beams, though much of this iconography has been distorted and exaggerated into a parody of itself. Having gone through the books, looking for information, there rests a single book bound in thick black leather. There. Again, sorry for my crappy, not nearly as pretty. But bound in thick black leather. The pages, when opened, shift under your gaze, as though resisting easy understanding. Anemo, you are inexplicitly drawn to this book.
Try and flip through it.
It talks about philosophy. It's strange. You have a feeling that this is, in fact, tied to Zehir, but unlike what you have seen and researched about him, this has no symbols and darkness, and it's like a scripture that has been lost to time. Its words are hard to read, but there appears to be a series of parables demanding an engagement. So, 3 parables are of note. I'm going to copy and paste them because I figure you might want them. Oh, actually, let's not do that one first. That's the last one. This one. First. A master assassin is hired to kill a prince on the eve of his coronation. He accepts the contract, knowing his blade is swift and sure. But when that night comes, he watches the prince kneel before his people, swearing to rule with wisdom. The assassin hesitates, thinking that this man does not deserve death. He turns and leaves, never drawing his dagger. The next day, the prince orders the slaughter of his rivals, the imprisonment of dissidents, and the exile of the weak. In the years to come, he becomes a tyrant feared across the land. The assassin hears of this and weeps, knowing his hesitation changed the fate of the kingdom. A question, again, shimmering almost in and out of existence as you glance at the book. Did he betray his contract? Did he betray the world? The second parable. Let me send it here. A land divided. A towering mountain on one side and endless river valley on the other. The people of the mountain lived among the clouds, seeing the world stretched far beneath them. To them, everything below was small, distant, insignificant. The people of the valley lived beside the rushing water, seeing the world in constant motion. To them, everything above was unreachable, unknowable, distant. One day, a child from the valley climbed the mountain, and a child from the mountain descended to the river. Each was struck by how wrong their understanding had been. From the peak, the valley was not small, but vast. From the river's edge, the mountain was not distant, but looming. Each returned home, but neither saw their world again. And I couldn't come up with the best question for this one, but what is the lesson? I couldn't figure out how to phrase the like what question I wanted, but that isn't just what is the lesson. So that's what we went with. And then a final tale. And then a final tale. Pop that in there. There was once a king who ruled wisely for many years. He built great roads, ended wars, kept his people fed. But as he aged, he grew afraid. Afraid of change, afraid of the future. He refused to name an heir. He tightened his grip on the throne. The land... Oh, shh.
What?
I just wanted to make sure I didn't copy something I shouldn't have copied.
Did you?
Nope, we're good. He tightened his grip on the throne. The land, once prosperous, withered under his fear. One night, a shadow entered his chambers. The king asked, "Have I been unjust? Have I been cruel?" The shadow replied, "You have been a great king, but all kings must fall." And so the shadow struck, and the kingdom endured. And as a final question, the book asks, why does the serpent strike? Three parables. You have a feeling that if you can answer these questions three, that you will gain a stronger understanding of what it all means.
Well, I got a lot to think about then. Anemo just takes the book and he kind of copies the parables in his own notes so that he can like kind of write on them and like basically annotate them for like later. And then tucks the actual leather-bound book. He puts it in his inventory. He feels like this is like extremely important. He feels like he has to keep it. He has to, I don't know, revive the. This is some serious history here.
Do you discuss with your party the contents of the book?
No. Wait, hold on. Do you want me to?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the god Emily.
God, Emily. He does not respond.
The god does not respond.
Key.
Okay.
As a DM, I think that it is worth a discussion. Because I did not
Okay.
plan to do this later. I did plan for you to do this now.
Fantastic. I relay the parables, and I say I feel a strange connection to this book. I think that these mean something seriously. The first one, to me, I understand it as like when you've been given a task, you should probably do it. Like it's probably a good idea to do the task, right?
Yeah.
The question is, did he betray his contract or did he betray the world? I would say like kind of yes. To like he kind of betrayed them both. But I mean, he only knew that it was his contract. He didn't necessarily know that it was going to be detrimental to the rest of the world, right?
But I suppose it kind of says everything happens for a reason, so you shouldn't not follow along.
Well, the second one, I mean, the question seems really, seems really weak, whoever wrote this, but...
Fuck off. You hear a grumbling from deep inside.
I'm sorry. This is, this is very... This one's interesting. I think the lesson here is that you have to look at everything from every angle, right? So if you've just looked at some things just one way, you need to have like an outside perspective on it in order to truly appreciate it.
When you say that, you say it out loud, yes?
Yeah.
There is a sense of truth. And there is a sense of truth. As you answer, the words appear on the phrase, almost having heard your response, deeming it to be correct, and the page fades. And
Oh shit! Sorry.
On the page, perception, defined by contrast. The truth does not change, but from where you stand, it looks different. You want me to send that? You can send that.
I wrote it down. Perception guided by contrast. Defined by contrast. The truth does not change. From where you stand, it may look different. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Things are getting serious now. This means that what I was saying earlier, the first one, it's not both. You have to decide whether it's that he betrayed his contact or if he betrayed the world. In years to come, he becomes a tyrant feared across the land. The assassin hears of this and weeps, knowing his hesitation changed the fate of the kingdom. Well, he says it himself, doesn't he? He betrayed the world.
Hold on. I need to. That does not work.
Fuck. Okay, he didn't betray the world.
I will say, the question is not like to answer this question. You got it because you try it right away. You're like, he betrayed his contract. He betrayed the world. Neither of those
Right.
answers worked. There is something we discovered here.
Hired to kill a prince. The contract knowing his blade is swift. Watches the prince kneel before his people, preparing to rule the kingdom.
Other party members can tune in their ideas too.
Assassin hesitates, thinking that this man does not deserve death. He turns and leaves, never drawing his dagger. The next day, the prince orders the slaughter of his rivals. This is it's tough, gang. Do you guys have any opinions on this? I feel like here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that because I think both are true. This is really tough for me.
Okay. I'm going to rephrase the question. What is the lesson?
What is the lesson? Never break your contract, I suppose. Never when you promise to do something, you should do it. When you've you know, and you have to deal with the consequences of not doing it, I suppose. There's always consequences for breaking your promises.
I think the lesson is that first impressions are not always correct.
Say that again?
First impressions are not always correct. People might seem one way, like this seemed nice, but he turned out to be evil. And I think the assassin could have tried to kill him at any time.
I repeat that.
Sage does not fade. Though parables often have many meanings that can be interpreted. That is the point. There is one.
Yes, it's true.
That this book is looking for.
Did he betray his contract or did he betray the world?
What is the lesson?
I would say he did. He only betrayed the contract, for he was deceived by the prince. No one would have known that he was going to do those things that he did. Deception is something of a... Deception is... What's the phrase? Deception is something of a corruption, I think it is. It's an old saying. I can't remember. I don't know. Mayhaps.
You don't have input into this. He feels like a message like coming into his brain. He betrayed Zehir. He betrayed the Zehir. I'm like, get out of my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. He betrayed Zehir. I say out loud.
Oh,
He
he did
did.
not betray. He did not betray Zehir. That is not.
Get the fuck out of here, Kale. Sorry.
Oh, wait. Are you?
It's
Oh,
chat.
no. Is Kale messaging you? Fuck off.
Yeah.
I love you, but
Yeah, come on, bro. You have to add all of the. Come on now. I'm gonna say never hesitate to do the thing you've been tasked to do, the thing that you've agreed to do. I'm gonna try that out.
when you say that, something connects. And the words on the page fade. Betrayal is not the breaking of a vow. It is the the refusal to act. Inaction is its own kind of betrayal.
Mm. I'm being convinced of something, guys, but let's do this last one before I start talking to you about it. He built great roads under the wars and kept his people fed, but as he aged, he grew afraid of the change, afraid of the future. He refused to name an heir. He tightened his grip on the throne. The land, once prosperous, withered under his fear. One night a shadow entered his throne. Why does the serpent strike? The serpent strike because the king overstayed his welcome. He went from being good for the kingdom to bad for the kingdom. So the lesson is, do your duty and move on.
I don't think that answers the question, though I will give you a hint in that it is close-ish. It made me think about whether or not that could qualify for the answer.
Here's what I'm thinking. Thinking something like, don't
That the one about the king.
Yes, the one about the king.
It's about your legacy.
It's about your legacy.
It's
Does not-
about letting go, or he's so afraid to let go, but nobody can hold on to anything forever.
Nobody can hold on to everything forever.
I would say that I'm going to say that does answer the question. The serpent strikes because it is time. It does not strike for malice. It does not strike for righteousness. It strikes because it must.
Mm. Sometimes
Ooh,
while
I
there
like
is
this one.
and you don't get to control it.
Let me. And then there is one more. One more point to be made. Sorry, I just need to copy and paste it, and I have a lot of text, so. Where is it? Fuck is it? Okay. As the words fade, a final parable draws your attention. Okay, I did. Okay. A great king.
You're so afraid.
I am so afraid because I have my notes in there. And I'm really scared that I'm gonna copy my notes. A great king ruled for decades in peace. He was loved by his people, feared by his enemies, and praised by his gods. But in his old age, a prophet came to him with a warning. A traitor will come from within. If you do not act first, you will fall. The king looked upon his court, his advisors, his generals, his own children, and saw for the first time the potential for betrayal. Fear grew in his heart. He struck first. He removed those closest to him, not out of hatred, but out of caution. Yet, in doing so, he turned friend into enemy, ally into traitor. And the betrayal he feared became the betrayal he created. What is the lesson? I realize that my questions make things far more complicated. So to answer correctly, what is the lesson is gonna be what it
that's pretty. Yeah, that's that's fair. This is very interesting indeed. Wow.
He created his own worst fear. Or there's a more. I know there's a better way to say that.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing. Like preemptive strikes kind of caused everything. Like fear caused what he feared.
Yeah, like he saw this image in his head, and he was so afraid of it happening that everything he did is the reason it happened.
Yeah. So what does that mean for us? Like never things. Who it's kind of like it's kind of like the Oracle in the Oedipus complex. After they hid from the Oracle, they sent the kid away, but because the kid was away, he didn't know who his mother and father was, so he ended up doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that one.
If you do not act first, you will fall. The king looked upon his court, his advisors, his generals, his own children. So, don't ostracize those closest to you. But, no, it's not that one. be wise in your actions. Don't be fearful. Full stop.
These are not the answers you seek.
Yeah.
I'll give a bit of a hint. As you're searching through the text, trying to discover. Remember who this is about.
Who is it about?
A king that ruled decades in peace, beloved by his people,
Who is the
feared by
book?
his enemies.
Who is the book about? Anemo.
Zehir. The book. Oh, is the book about me?
No. Zehir.
It's about Zehir. Okay. Oh, wow. Zahir's haters of snakes? God of darkness? I don't know.
You've done some research into Zehir, into the common texts of Zehir, right? Clearly, this is approaching things different.
For sure.
But he is he is the cloaked serpent, a god of poisons, assassins, darkness, and betrayal. He created snakes and also Wanti, disliked by everyone. An evil god.
So Zahir's evil, guys. He's the god of betrayal. So learning that he would be betrayed, he was the one that betrayed. I guess. What'd you say?
He betrayed himself.
He did betray himself. I find it hard to believe, but perhaps it's don't betray those closest to you, even if you think that they will betray you.
It is not the answer.
Don't be afraid of betrayal.
You reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow.
Remember, the book is about Zehir, but it is a book of parables. What are parables?
Stories to basically tell you how you should act.
So what is this from the perspective of Zehir? What is this story saying?
Keep your friends close.
Is that?
Enemies closer.
Yeah, to me, that's what it's saying. Um, um,
Do you want some guidance or no?
I would like to cast guidance.
Yeah, I suppose.
You do want some
Sorry.
guidance? Okay. No, it's okay. This was a hard one. This one was a very
A
difficult
little
one.
bit too dumb, guys.
Um,
Dumb.
so my hint. A prophet came to him, assuming the prophet is true. What would have happened had he not listened?
Eventually, someone would have betrayed him anyway. Or nothing would have happened unless the prophet's wrong.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's the word.
It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, I suppose. So,
You are very, very close, Quinn, with that last statement. Not the self-fulfilling prophecy, but the one before that.
what did I say right before that?
You
it would have happened anyway.
There is a particular word, phrase, or concept that I'm looking for you to find. But you are very, very close with that. And you feel it. You feel it deep.
Oh, is a traitor will come from within. It's the traitor is himself. He is the traitor. He's the one that will betray himself. In the end. Am I wrong?
That is
Don't let
not
yourself.
the answer. That's not the answer you're looking for.
God damn it! I reread A Traitor Will Come Within, and I got a brain blast, but the brain blast was not correct. If
These
you
are
do not
parables,
act
so
first,
you
you
know.
will fall. It would have happened. Oh man, Emily, I'm so sorry. I should be getting this.
It's okay. No, this one's a hard one. This one's a hard one. This is why it's the last one.
I could really use some help, guys. Callum, can you give it a try?
Wait, who's
one? We just talked about this.
Oh. Of course.
I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm a little bit lost.
Yeah, you're telling me. Doing kind of in the same sphere as maybe the first one. Like if you don't there's the line, if you do not act first you will fall. The prophet is telling the king like basically like apathy is the is the real killer. But at the same time, it suggests that if you wait around for things to happen, then bad things will happen to you. But this parable is saying that if you take wrong action, I guess, against the wrong people, the bad things will happen to you anyway. And he ended up with no allies, right? He ended up with nothing but enemies, because all of his allies turned into enemies, and he still had other enemies beside that, right?
He removed those closest to him, not out of hatred, but out of caution.
Yes. What?
A prophet came to him with a warning. A traitor will come from within. If you do not act first, you will fall.
He struck first by removing those closest to him, not out of hatred, but out of caution. That's not really okay. Here's where my brain first goes, is the action of removing things closest to him just out of caution isn't really an action. It's like he's like protecting himself, right? But that's not. Oh, I don't know. I guess that is an action, right?
I want to redirect your attention back to an idea that I gave you the hint on, because I feel like we keep veering away from that. Before you had stated, this might be too much. Basically, that
no matter what would happen, the prophecy would come true.
Yeah.
You can't change fate.
You can't
No.
change fate.
No.
Always be the first to act.
Extra guidance. It is on the nature of betrayal.
Okay. Don't betray fate. Fate doesn't betray you. The one thing that won't betray you is fate. I really want it to come to me. I really do. I feel you're. I think you're giving me everything you can without just like fully telling me. Betrayal will always happen. It's fated.
And with that, the words on the book fade.
Let's fucking go.
And a phrase comes out. Betrayal is not an evil. It is inevitable. And to add a little bit extra to that, It is the moment trust is tested and found wanting. A king's fall is not the traitor's doing, but his own refusal to understand the nature of his power. When you come to these conclusions, nice job, by the way. Perception is defined by contrast. Truth does not change, but from where you stand, it looks different. It may look different. Betrayal is not the breaking of a vow. It is the refusal to act. Inaction is its own kind of betrayal. The serpent does not strike for malice. It does not strike for righteousness. It strikes because it must. Betrayal is not an act of evil. It is inevitable. It is the moment trust is tested and found wanting. When these questions are answered, the book in your hands dissolves into dark smoke. And for you, Anemo, the chamber feels impossibly vast, as though the walls have disappeared into the void. A whisper coils around your mind, a voice rough as stone, cold as steel. You are alone. You are my fame, because you do not seek power, nor vengeance, nor justice. You do not lie to yourself about the nature of the blade in your hand. You understand what they refuse to do. Death is not evil. Betrayal is not wickedness. Shadows do not hide the truth. They reveal it. That is why you are mine.
Hard.
As the vision fades, the chamber returns to normal, but the weight of Zehir's words linger. The book is gone, but its knowledge remains, burned into your mind.
I start sharpening a blade.
There you go. And so, the book's destruction marks the end of this heretical cult. The Zalejo confirms that no remnants remain, that their purpose was never truly Zahir's will, but some sort of twisted worship of a single person. There is, with your input, the span read that traces back to that benefactor within the Cerberus assembling, suggesting that potentially the cult was not operating in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
But to you, Anemo, there is no doubt. The faith of Zehir will remain misunderstood by the world. But maybe now you understand it is as it truly is. And there is a little extra bit that I came up with that I don't know how to. You know what? I'll just keep talking because I've got more notes. Zehir did not choose you for devotion. You ponder.
Mm-hmm.
He chose you because one day you would need to question what was true. And you hear as a final conclusion as you guys walk out, with all of these the cultists sitting in boats, cuffed and bound, and one of the officers steps forward and says, clearing his throat, "By the authority of the Marquis of Nicodranus, you are hereby charged with the crimes against the Concord, including conspiracy to commit murder, unlawful religious extremism and sedation, kidnapping and forced conversion, assault with deadly toxins and by magical means, and the desecration of the good Melora's temple grounds." And they I just wanted to say, because I had to take time to figure out what exactly their charges would be. They sail off with the captured cultists back to Nicodranus. And the lot of you are left standing there alone with a renewed understanding. Oops. Having had time to discuss the happenings and the book on boobs.
Yeah. The show's called Boobs.
Love that for us.
Guys, while I was in there, I had a revelation after we finished all those. I think I should. I have a mission, okay? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something secretive. I'm on a mission from God. I put on sunglasses.
Brother.
As you can see, I've changed a lot, and it's because I also was about to die, and Zehir was the one that saved me. I've always known which god was the one that did so, but he gave me a task. And before we go back to everybody else, I feel like I should tell you. I feel like I should tell somebody. Zehir wants me to destroy something, so that something evil doesn't come to the world and wreck up a lot of stuff, which I think is probably rather noble. But the problem is it puts me at exact opposition with a person in the party.
What is it?
I'm guessing you're referring
Brian?
to Brian and her pact.
Brian's pact to revive, I'm forgetting the name of the person.
Ukatoa.
Brian's pact to revive Ukatoa is absolutely against what I want to do. And I need to destroy the orb that would let that happen. These readings, I mean, it seems to me that if I don't do that, something really serious will happen. Something like world ending. Especially that first parable, it spoke to me. I can't be inactive about this. Even if I maybe just help Ukatoa be revived, then that's not nothing, right? But I think I want to do it. I want to do what Zehir told me to do. And I might need some help to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the summoning of Ukatoa would be really good for anybody, but that's my thoughts on it. Please say something. And Emma starts crying.
Behind his sunglasses, a single tear falling
A
on his
single
cheek.
tear. Yeah.
You're asking us to betray our friend?
Yeah.
Both of you are just fighting each other or other. No. This is gods are using you two to fight each other, but we are the only ones who are going to be hurt by this.
I don't know if that's true. If Ukatoa is returned, a lot of lives could be seriously affected.
Brian is trying to bring Ukatoa to life.
Yes.
And you're trying to stop Ukatoa from being alive.
Yes. Ukatoa's a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. When you put it that way, I guess I'm on your side.
So
We're
you're
not
thinking the
bringing
name will relax a
Zehir
little
to
bit.
life, are we? I don't think I'd like that either.
Right. I mean, I know confrontation's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I should do?
You don't have a game plan?
Well, I do have my own game plan, yeah. But if you think that there's a better way than just being fully antagonistic, that might, be better for the party.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I just thought you guys should know about this. I've been traveling with you guys for a bit, and I feel like I've gotten to know especially a lot about Soren and Callum. Just seemed like something that you guys should know about. These gods, they have a lot. They kind of do a lot by their own whim, you know.
Yeah. That's something they do.
But my intention is, it's strict. I absolutely will do what Zehir told me to do.
Because of
I
the
think it's
parable.
right. I think it's right in this parable. I mean, it's so old, you know? Some things you just gotta trust because it's old. That's definitely the way things work in real life.
Like an old bridge you're trying to cross a chasm with.
Yeah.
You're really
Gotta
gonna
just
put your
trust it.
trust in that?
I mean, it stayed up all this time, right?
But is it going to supply your weight across? Not everything is as, I guess, not everything is as blunt as it seems. Everything has an underlying tone. I'd maybe look further into this before you decide to, quote, Hail Mary it. Because this could end up tearing the Legati company apart. It could end up tearing you guys apart.
I think I must know what Ukatoa would do if... That's what this first parable also says. He didn't know what the prince was going to do if he didn't follow through, right? So I think I've got to figure that out. Got to figure out what happens if I don't follow through. And weigh that against what happens if I do, right? But it's dangerous to ignore it. I can't just ignore it. Don't you understand that?
I'm not saying you have to ignore it, but with something that is this important, acting out of just acting alone will not bring fortune. Everything has an effect. Are you going to be all right with what happens after that? I'm just saying, think it through before you commit to it.
That's why I'm bringing it to you, you know. All right. Well, I'll keep thinking on it. Glad that somebody other than me knows, you know. Get it off my chest.
Speaking
Yeah.
With
I leave
more-
the room.
speaking of your chest, Windchime, your chest pulses, not painfully, but insistent.
Insistent.
Your star, you can feel it, desires something.
Do I know what?
No. But before we resume, we're going to go on a brief break. We're going to take 15 minutes and pick up with Windchime. Okay.
Second half.
The Windchime. The thrumming in your chest does not lessen. It often, when you feel it, it pulls you towards some place where you need to be. But it's not pulling you toward anything. But it's insistent.
It's consistent, pulling me towards nothing in particular.
And it does not stop. It takes a couple of hours to sail from the Colts hideout to back to Nicodranus. And the entire time it's there thrumming. It desires your attention. How do you go about giving it? How do you go about giving it that?
My attention. When Chive looks down at her chest and pokes at it. And then she also finds some food to eat.
Eating food always makes you feel better. But this doesn't. It's almost anxious. What do you want?
She walks around the boat. Does it change as she walks around people or near people? Or in situations?
No, it does not change.
And she looks. Okay.
I'm sorry?
She looks down at her chest and the light emanating from it. And she's like, "What do you want?"
Thrum, 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 thrum.
Well, this has never happened before. Guys, do I look different?
You look at her. She looks a little frazzled. Maybe.
No, do you feel different?
I feel very different. I feel weird and kind of like she does a little dance. Like she has ants in her pants sort of situation. You know how Brian always got really weird sometimes? I think that's how I feel.
What does it mean? What's it connecting you to?
My star. It's she like pulls down her shirt a little bit to like show her breastbone.
There's
something.
There is a faint light pulsing from the center of her chest.
Whoa.
It doesn't usually do it like that. Like it doesn't usually stay this powerful. And it doesn't it usually feels like more like happier.
Thrum, 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 thrum.
Do you need something?
I already ate. I definitely need something.
Your chest still continues to pound.
How close are we?
You aren't far now. You've been kind of. You tell me how long that you think that you have been like trying different things before informing your party.
2 hours.
So you are very nearly to Nicodranus now.
Mm-hmm.
You will be there in a matter of minutes. In fact, actually, your boat is being tugged in. Thrum, 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 never stopping. And again, it is a faint glow. It like when your shirt and your armor cover it, you can't see it. But when you exposed, when you expose your chest a little bit, you can see it there.
I don't know what to do.
Time passes as you consider your options. The boat gets pulled in. You walk your way back to Nahiri's shop. All the while, Heart, your star, calling for your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Incessant.
Um, does the sky look different?
To you, it looks the same.
Because that's where it came from.
The sun's still high.
Okay. I'm gonna look for Nahiri.
You make your way into Hiri's shop. She says, "Well, look who's come crawling back."
Oh my
How are
gosh, I
you?
miss you so much.
I've missed you too. And you guys embrace.
Yes,
You?
Windchime literally runs into her.
Oh, are you okay?
I feel not the same. And when she shows her chest that's glowing to Nahiri, look at it. I've never done this before. I don't know what it wants.
Oh, that is certainly strange. It's never glowed?
It's glowed, but it's been doing this, and I feel like I need to do something for about 2 or 3 hours now.
Have you tried jumping jacks?
I tried dancing, but I can try jumping jacks too. Windchime goes into jumping jacks to see if that helps. I don't think it's helping.
Oh, but I do love the view. Well, okay, so you've tried eating, you've
Mhm,
tried dancing. Have
mhm.
you tried connecting with it?
What does that mean? It's inside me already.
Well, does it does it talk to you?
Uh, I tried talking to it earlier. It doesn't. I wouldn't say we're never talking to it.
Well, I mean, I usually like when I have something I feel like I need to work out, I draw.
Mm. We could try that.
You want to try drawing?
Yeah.
All right. She leads you over to her little place and what medium do you want to use?
Not frosting.
Not frosting. Good, because I don't have any frosting here.
Why wouldn't you have frosting, darling?
I ran out from last time.
Okay. We can use charcoal then.
Charcoal? Okay. She brings you the charcoal. Okay. Now create.
Windchime takes hold of the charcoal and holds it over the piece of paper, parchment. And she looks at her hand and waits for it to do something.
Your hand does not do anything. It just sits there. Charcoal pressed between your fingers.
She narrows her eyes, looks down at the star in her chest, and focuses harder.
You go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Sorry, by the way, first roll of the session.
Yeah. You think real hard. You
Yeah.
listen to the world around you. Trying to feel what it is your star is telling you. Your hand does not move on its own. You simply put charcoal to paper. There is no pushing you to create here. Your star isn't asking you to create, but you make the decision to. It isn't the star that's telling you to do this, it's you. And you start with a line. And you draw little spots in the sky. And as you begin to draw, you're thinking really hard about what it is that it wants. What is it that you want? And you definitely have the feeling that whatever it is you're working on needs some color. So asking Zehir, she brings you some, and after a bit, you create a scene. Sorry. Oh my god, that was so loud. Excuse me. Ow. You create a scene. A reflective surface from the point of view of you. Like a vast mirror of the night sky. Above you, above like the horizon line, there are countless floating little shards, stars. Some of them faintly glowing, some appearing to be dark and lifeless. And you draw 3 paths.
Mm-hmm.
One that leads you towards a broken mirror. One that leads you toward a field of falling stars. And this one, as you draw it, feels almost unnatural. A giant eye. Incomplete, like cracked. 3 paths. All the while, your star thrumming you to choose.
What were the options again?
A watchful eye, broken. A field of fallen stars. And a broken mirror. Well, a path of mirrors.
This doesn't look good, she says. She looks up at Zehir.
I mean, I see. It's kind of abstract, isn't it? You're doing a very good job. She looks at it. You can tell that while what you are drawing, you can understand. She doesn't seem to get it. Though the page is full, do you need a new one?
I don't think so. Or Do I need a new one?
You need to make this decision.
She flips her page upside down. Instead of getting a new one.
Okay. So like flipping your page over?
Yeah. And then she starts drawing
The mirror, the field of fallen stars, and the watchful eye.
the fallen stars.
You begin to draw that field that you saw before with more depth, more detail. In the middle, you can't so much see it, but you can feel a familiar light in them. One that, as you're drawing it, seems to pulse in rhythm with your hand and your heartbeat, your star beat, if you will. You feel that you are drawing your own shard.
Mm-hmm.
But your shard is not the only one here. Draw
Oh.
many, many other ones. There is, of course, yours in the middle, familiar, comforting. But there are many other lost pieces.
I need to go back to the field where it all began.
There are other paths for you to choose.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, about this page actually, there is, as you draw it, Nahiri again doesn't seem to understand or see what you are seeing. There's a sense of responsibility. Not just your shard, but there are others out there wanting, maybe waiting to be found. It's weird, because if you don't keep adding to them, they almost fade into the background as in your drawings. You could let them rest and forget about them completely, really. But your hand does keep moving back to them.
Hmm.
Not wanting to forget, almost.
To the which ones?
And the ones that are not your own.
The stars?
They are the falling stars.
Mm-hmm. How many does she count?
Hundreds. There probably would be thousands, but you have to keep noticing them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you don't notice them, they seem to fade to the background.
There's more out there like me, she says in a hurry.
There's only one like you, she says.
Windchime smiles. That's not what I mean, but thank you.
What do you mean?
I mean, I thought that this star was the only one. I was chosen specifically by the star, and I was special in a way. But I think it was only part of a star, and I guess I should have realized that since stars are so big in the sky and we can see them because they're so big and they're so far away. No, I really like the idea of an entire star just like the size of a hand in my chest.
You like the idea? Is that not true?
It is true, but it's not in the shape of a. It's in the shape of a shard.
Huh. So
Which is,
it's not a star?
it is a star. It's part of a star.
A shard of a star.
Yes. And there's more. There's more. There must be more people who share the same star. And maybe I think I have to find them.
There is more to explore here, though. And so Zehir is going to hand you another piece of paper. Keeping drawing will show more information.
You're so right.
There were two other paths.
The
broken mirror, or the mirrors, excuse me, and the watchful eye.
Let's do the mirror first.
You begin to draw a reflective. Oh my goodness! I forgot to actually. Sorry, I actually had visuals for this. Yes. You draw a cracked mirror. And 3 reflections of yourself in them. There is a version of yourself on the far left. It's just you. But there's something missing. Then, a version of yourself where the shard in your chest is glowing brightly. And then a version of yourself where the shard is so bright you can barely even tell that it's yourself. One of them draws you. Which one is that?
Oh.
A version of yourself that is missing something, a little dim. A version of yourself with the shard burning bright. And a version of yourself with your star so bright it consumes you. Can't even barely tell it's you.
The bright one.
The one where it's like where your star is like almost consuming you.
Yes.
The light overpowers you. As you kind of focus your attention on that. There is, as you continue to draw it, it almost feels as if the light is blinding, right? Sorry, words. You are consumed in this version. There is no more of you left here. It is too much. It is a version where there is no purpose. Because there is no you.
Mm.
You kind of realize that the star in your heart does have a power to shape you. At the end, though, if you let it take you over completely, it is not shaping you. It is you.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
Can she draw the other ones too?
Which one do you pick next?
The second one.
A version of yourself with the shard bright, but not overpowering. Sorry. The shard seems to be strengthened, but you are still present. It's almost like a leading, like protecting. It is two in tandem, though it is only one. That was weird words of putting that, but you work together as a team. You are still present. You are a guiding light. A beacon, but not one that is blinded by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Guiding, like a lighthouse. And as you touch yourself, the one where you don't have a shard, there is just you. What do you see in that reflection? One without your power, without the star. No guidance. What does that look like for you, Windchime?
It looks like simplicity. It looks like contentment or the desire to adventure has kind of dissolved. But like a knowing happiness.
And you realize that the shard has the power to shape you. But it is how you choose to use it that defines what it becomes. Flipping the page over, there is one last path. This one you kind of unconsciously avoided. The eye. There's motion in the eye as you draw it. As it's almost turning and scanning, but never quite looking at you, the viewer, I suppose. It's incomplete and cracked, floating above what you now see as you're drawing, an endless library. You know that it does not see you. It does not seem to know that you, the artist, exists. What do you do? What do you draw?
I draw a little a house.
A house. What's inside the house?
It's a family. And there's pies and even little house mice. And it has a garden outside.
The eye does not watch. It's broken, incomplete. It cannot see this house and its little family and the little mice and the pies cooling in the window. They are left alone. There is something that scratches at the back of your head, however. The broken, incomplete, missing piece almost looks of the eye, almost looks as if you could fit the previous one, that familiar shard that you drew first. It almost looks like you could fit it right into the eye. If you wanted to. Though, complete like that, you kind of feel that it would see. It would see the little house and the family and the little mice running around. It would notice them if it was whole.
Mm-hmm.
So, sitting back, looking at all of the drawings that you have created, the shard pulses a final time. And knowledge settles into you. Probably for the first time, you realize that the star in your chest is not a star. It almost seems forgotten, though you carry it now. But there is one last thing. The eye that you see in the sky. There's something familiar about it. And then you realize something. And only it was probably because of all of the conversations about Brian lately and all of the everything. You think that the eye is a representation of Ioun.
Mm-hmm.
And with that pieces coming together, it dawns upon you that the the fragment in your chest is not something else. It is a piece of a god. A fragment disconnected from the whole of Ioun. Kind of like the Ioun stones that currently float above your head. But larger.
Oh. Are the Ioun stones part of Ioun?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Are the Ioun stones part of Ioun in the same way?
That's how the mythos goes.
Mm-hmm.
That they are a piece of her.
Windchime definitely grabs one of the stones from around her head and holds it closer to her chest to inspect it.
As you hold it close to your chest, very similar to how originally the shard was put there in the first place when you found it in the middle of the field, all alone in the middle of the night. You press it in, and it absorbs that Ioun stone.
Whoa.
Pulsing as it does so. And then fades, almost sated by that one.
Her mouth is literally wide open.
You do still have another stone above your head.
Mm-hmm. What do the stones do again?
You have a stone that gives you I believe it was, oh god. I can't remember. It's been so long. I probably should have refreshed my memory on that, but
Do I notice if I lose those benefits when that one is absorbed?
You do not lose that benefit. It just absorbs and becomes a piece of you. I think it gave you a survival and stealth, I believe, abilities. Oh, and one of them allowed you to create the good berry.
Oh.
Or cast the good berry spell. And survival. And then there was another one which did something. Oh my god.
Stone. Okay.
One more time?
She takes the other stones, however many there were.
There was just the two. And you take the other one and you press it in, and with a pulse, it absorbs that one as well.
Oh my goodness. She looks up at Nahiri.
Did you just eat the stones with your chest?
It appears so. It's not as weird as it looks. And I think I have a god inside me.
A god?
And maybe not an entire god, but little pieces of a god.
You are divine.
Mm-hmm.
But, in all seriousness, though, isn't that, kind of dangerous?
It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
But what if it is?
I'm gonna figure this out. I've had it for so long now.
Can you take it out?
No, I don't think that's how it works. But I've never tried either. Windchime feels her chest to see if there's any holes or give to grab the shard.
You kind of reach and you kind of poke your chest, and it does not feel that you can pull it out. But it is important to note that the your star is not shining right now.
Oh, it's satiated. It was hungry. I think it feels like it wants to go back and find more of its own kind.
How would you do that?
I think I have to go back to the field where I found it.
I mean, and the field where you found it, if my memory serves me right, was that an Alfield?
Yes.
Well, good news.
What?
I still haven't met your parents.
Yeah.
And you've been talking about going back for forever now.
Yep. I've been meaning to go back, and every time I think I'm gonna go, there's something that pulls me away. But it's time, and you need to meet my parents. They're gonna love you.
Nahiri blushes. I hope that they do.
Oh, I know they will.
You're biased.
You're already part of my family.
She blushes harder. Well, with everything that was calling you away from Alfield, it now sounds that like you're being called towards it.
It does. So we should make plans and go there. I know my parents, they're not in Altfield, but they're close by in the area. And the Knolls will still be there. And we'll need to if we could save Altfield from the Knolls and people could move back into their homes that they had to abandon, that would make a big difference back there.
Then it sounds like we have a plan. You just have to, convince the others or whatever.
I think...
Oh, go ahead.
My first plan of action is to ask. But if that doesn't work, we could try kidnapping them.
You could try kidnapping the party. I'm into that.
Yeah, I mean, they're a little hard to wrangle sometimes, so I think it's my turn to choose. There we go.
I think that's fair. As if on cue. Anemo and Soren, you walk into Nahiri's to maybe use the rose to get Firewatch. As you walk in, Nahiri jumps and reaches behind the counter and is now holding a rope.
Wait, I was joking.
Oh. She sets it down, hides it behind the counter.
What were you planning on doing with that?
No. Wink, wink.
Should I be
You
concerned?
see Nahiri and Windchime share winks to each other like that was slick.
I look at Callum, and I like kind of roll my eyes a little bit.
Guys,
What's going on in here?
Should I be concerned about that?
you should be concerned that I have a proposition. Or, concerned is not the right word. I think you should be excited that I have a proposition.
All right, lay it on us.
So, you, me, and all of us go to Alfield together on a trip. And Alfield is my hometown where I grew up. It's basically abandoned now and overtaken by Nolan. So there's lots of monsters to kill.
I like the sounds of
Excuse-
that.
Wasn't that always
Not
the
the
plan?
coughing, the monsters to kill.
Yeah, wasn't that always the plan?
It was always the plan, like Mike was. And when you had to take down the cult. So now if we could, that would be really great. And then here we can meet my parents.
Okay.
I'll go on one
Yeah.
condition.
One condition.
After we help your parents,
Mhm.
I want to go even further. And I want to go to the mountain range between Zorhas and Dwendalian Empire. We'll be right
What-
there. It's Alfield's on the way. And there's something I need to do there.
Interesting. What is it that you need to do, Callum?
I need to...
Who is Callum? I'm just kidding.
That's
It's just
me.
the
Hello.
way it was said too.
I don't know if you remember, but amnesia that I had, gone. Yippee. My real name is not Soren. That was a alias I picked up from my amnesia. My real name is Callum. I'm from a apothecary in Zorhas, and I would like to return there one day. However, there's some business I need to attend in the mountain range. I forgot what the mountain range is called. What?
Dunrock.
Dunrock Mountains. Yes.
Comes to you in a dream.
I need to return to the Dunrock Mountains for an investigation. There's something I left there.
I would love to explore that with you.
But not before Alfield, okay?
No, Alfield is on the way.
Okay, yeah.
with that, plans made, setting out, you guys begin to make your way towards Alfield. There is one last final scene. And this has a bit of a time skip. Deep in the forest, with your guys' pimped out cart.
Very good.
You make your way towards Alfield. It's been a few days that you've been traveling. Maybe. You set up a fire. And things are quiet here. Peaceful under the setting sun. In unison, because this is how divine works. By divine, I mean my will. Windchime, Anemo, and traveling with you, Nahiri, all somehow in unison turn towards Callum.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hi. You look like you have something to say.
I'm sorry. I think I missed something. What did you say?
So, okay. You said that but next to a campfire that you would explain things.
Oh. Okay. True. So, yes. Hello. It is I. You know me. Soren.
This microphone.
I am.
Sorry.
I am not Soren. Plot twist. My name is actually. Scroll up. My name is actually Callum Vestis. I'm from a small family in Zorhas, which I remember now. Long story short, I no longer have amnesia. I remember everything. I was walking through the forest. It was last night. I was walking through the forest after sending you back to Firewatch, and something gave me my memories back. I have a feeling I know what it was, but that's not necessarily of importance right now. I'm missing my soul. I am, if you want to call it, a living being, if that's what you want to call it, because I do have a heart that beats. However, I'm not normal. You know, the soul is missing, and it's a very important and key part of me, I think. You two, he kind of gives a little head nod towards Windchime and Anemo. You two have experienced this firsthand with the corruption that took place in the Sovia Manor. Well, that can happen again. I'm not saying it will, but without a soul, I essentially am a puppet without a puppeteer. I can move on my own, but somebody can always, if powerful enough, take over my body once again and use me. As scary as that sounds, it's much scarier to be on the receiving end. And I wanted to show you guys what that felt like. What I went through. I understand if you don't want to see it, but it's something I feel like everybody should feel. It's terrible, and I don't wish this upon anybody, but when death is something that is brought up or used, like with the fight for Thom, it's just something that reminds me of that battle, of the fact that people are fighting for death and life instead of, I don't know, saving a life, I guess. This, if you agree to it, I would like to show you why I value everything, why I value a life, even if that life is corrupt. If you're okay with it, that is.
Of course.
And Soren is going to hold on, I gotta pull up the spell. Soren is going to hold his hand out for the other three to take. Or not like take, but he is going to hold his hand out for the other three to grab. Please take hold of me. And I ask that you do fail this spell. If you see through it, the spell itself will show you nothing of what happens. And Soren is going to cast Hallucinatory Terrain at 4th level. As he does so, everything around us is enveloped in darkness before kind of like a TV screen almost kind of appears above him, or above us. You can see out the TV screen. It looks like you're looking through your person's eyes. You can see everything around you, and you can see everything near you, but you're not looking through your eyes. You're looking at a screen. Everywhere around us is enveloped in darkness before it all of a sudden starts to move as what was once our ground becomes water, and we plummet into the water as it becomes a raging sea, kind of pushing us and blowing us around with the efforts of a storm. This is what it feels like. When you're not in control of your body, when you're facing death firsthand, you feel this darkness. You can't control anything. It's all just terrifying. It's a struggle to keep at the surface. When I was in the Solvia Manor, this is what I saw. This is what I was fighting against. I watched myself hurt you guys. I watched myself tear into you all, and I couldn't do anything. I could just try and stay afloat. It was rough, to say the least. Do you guys understand why I value a life? Because everybody deals with this, and I don't want anyone to deal with this. Nobody should have to go through this pain, this suffering, this darkness, the uncontrol of your life. Everybody should be in control of their life. It's just, it's so chaotic and terrible, and this is why I wanted not to kill Thom, not to kill Zagreus. Everybody deserves a second chance. Well, not a second chance per se, but everybody deserves to live. If that's in solitude or in jail, so be it. But death is permanent, and you never know what'll happen after that. And as he says that, the cascading sea surrounding everybody disappears and we return back to the campfire. The darkness that swallowed me is terrible. It's taken effects on me I can't even put into words. And I don't know if you know this, but when we fought Annabeth, I started to lose my mind, I think. I don't know all the details, but the laughing, the going in for the kill, the fighting, trying to fight with my fists. I tried to fist fight Annabeth. I had no control of myself. And I don't know why. But I think I'm starting to slowly go insane. Something's wrong with me and I don't know. I might have my memories back, but I felt like you guys should know what it felt like, what it looked like, what I'm going through. Because I don't know what'll happen next time we get into a fight. And if, I lose it and I attack one of you again, or if I lose it and I hurt myself, or I don't know. With everything coming back to me, I'm starting to feel a whole new sense of just, I don't know. I don't know the words to say, but I'm going through so much and I have everything back. Yay, right? But there's still something missing and I can feel it, and I don't know if it's this piece of me that's causing me to go insane or not, but I wanted you all to be wary of me. I don't want to hurt you, I don't. But in case it does happen again, I want you to understand that I'm not doing it out of purpose. Okay?
Wow, this is heavy, man. I never thought that you would attack us on purpose. Just not that kind of person.
I know I'm not, but I just wanted to clear it up and cover bases. Because that's the last thing I'd want to do, is hurt somebody unknowingly. Whether it's you all or an innocent civilian.
I mean, like, not that my opinion matters or whatever. I'm really just like a bystander in all of this, but like, I mean, like, this wouldn't be the first time that one of our party members accidentally tries to kill us. She looks at you and
Hey! I also didn't mean to.
yeah, I mean, I didn't say you did it on purpose, but like, you're in good company. We're pretty understanding, I think.
That's good to hear. You don't know how much that means to me.
It's a good point, though. I guess I have been through similar things.
So this fire, doesn't it look pretty? Soren kind of nervously rubs the back of his neck.
That was nice. I'm glad that you told us all that. I'm glad that you cleared things up. I think that it'll... if you... I promise that I will do everything I can if you do end up going loose to make sure that you hurt as little people as possible.
I appreciate that.
All right. Next session, you all will be in Alfield.